news with Gina.
The news with Gina Grad.
I want to first start with a quick correction because yesterday's show, I mistakenly reported that New York would reopen on July 8th, which did seem a little funky, and I should have checked that. It's actually June 8th. That's today as we record this. So if that sounded weird to you, that's why. So my apologies. So Democrats unveiled this sweeping new legislation Monday that, if passed, would increase accountability of police officers by banning certain practices, significantly curbing immunity from legal consequences stemming from acts committed in the line of duty. This, according to Fox News. So it's called the Justice in Policing Act of 2020. It would lower the bar for police officers to face criminal prosecution by allowing charges not just in cases where alleged misconduct was intentional, but also in cases of reckless misconduct. And through the bill, Democrats seek to establish a national use of force standard, ban federal use of chokeholds and racial profiling, and set up a national police misconduct registry to maintain public records of officer violations.
That'd be a fun place to work. Hello, welcome to the National Police Misconduct Registry. My name's Steve. How can I help you? I was talking earlier today. I had an unpopular thought, but a thought that needs to be discussed. Anyway,
it's never stopped you before.
No.
Let's go.
But I'll be consistent. I've been talking about this for a long time, long before this situation. Police need more training of how to interact with the public, but the public should have some training about how to interact with the police as well. Because no one really tells us what exactly they want from us when they're pulling us over. You know, sometimes you reach for your glove box to get your insurance out of it. They don't want you to do that, you know. Sometimes you roll the window down. Sometimes you roll the window up. Sometimes you got to swallow the doobie you were smoking. I have to spill a beer out. But, I mean, I would take, and I would be fine with, and maybe it's just a DMV thing, like maybe it's like a little protocol. Don't get out of your car, for instance. Or if you're pulled over on the highway, on the freeway, there's a good chance that the officer may come around the passenger side where it's safer. So when pulled over on the freeway, come to a stop. Lower the window on the passenger side. Just stuff to avoid all the, hey, buddy, and he's knocking on the window on the passenger side. Like how to interact with the cops, how they would like you to come to them. And then, by the way, when they see that's what you're doing, then they'll be sort of de-triggered. They'll know, okay, this is a person who understands this protocol. You think about
make it part of your driving test.
Yeah, part of your driving test. Like maybe they want your hands on the wheel. I don't know. Maybe they want you to turn your dome light on at night. I don't know. Yes, Brad.
As soon as I got a car and a license, my dad, when I would come home, would run out to the window and knock on my window and say, license and registration. Like he would do mock pullovers with me. And then, like, if I didn't know where my license was, he would start yelling at me and be like, where is it? You're going to jail. And like, yeah, so he kind of trained me up on that. So I knew that when it was to happen, I mean, granted, I understand. I'm not going to pretend I know what it's like to be an African-American who's been pulled over. I wasn't aware of that kind of difference until I was literally driving from Los Angeles to Bakersfield. I was driving. The comedian in my car is a very funny comic. His name is Bruce Jingles. He is a funny African-American gentleman. And a cop pulled up right next to us, looked in, saw me, saw Bruce, made eye contact with me, and mouthed the words, "Are you okay?"
Wow.
And that shocked me because, I mean, this was before I had my beard. So I thought to myself, oh my God, this cop thinks that a black guy kidnapped this kid and now he's making him drive.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Like, yeah. And
that's more of a referendum on you.
Yeah. I don't know if you've been offended.
I was picturing, I was picturing your dad upping his game, like at some point coming out with a billy club and smashing out your rear tail light, going, well, boy, appears we got a problem here.
What city boy like you do parts like this?
I mean, he would do that, and then he would toss me in a shower and tell me to spread him and put, like, it was bad.
Delousing. Hey, but your dad your dad was kind of, I would call him a realist. I mean, it was a little bit of a boy named Sue. Like, it was like he knew things were going to be tough for you growing up, and he was going to put a little gravity in your world, right?
Yeah, and he would do that by constantly making fun of me as a little person, because my dad's not a dwarf. So he would make fun of me, like, as a toddler and as a very young child, and then but encourage me to have comebacks. So when I got to the schoolyard, I wouldn't be scared when a kid started making fun of me, and it worked really well. I got made fun of the first day of school, and I also got sent to the principal's office on the first day of school because I had a better comeback.
Well done.
The kid walked.
The
kid walked up and said, "Ha ha, you're little," and I said, "Ha ha, your mom doesn't live with your dad anymore." And I grew up in Orange County. I had about a 50-50 shot of getting that one right, and I did.
Talk about a realist.
Yeah, it was a good comeback.
Yeah, your dad did good work. And I really do mean it, because Brad is one of the best. Let's see. I'll try to work this compliment out.
Looking.
You're the most regular comedian I know. Your demeanor's great. Being little is neither here nor there. It also isn't. I hate it when a comedian makes something his entire act. It would be easy for you to do that. You don't. You want to be funny first. And I think your dad I think that's probably your dad not turning you into a victim.
Yeah, that was never what he wanted for me. He never wanted me to come home and say I couldn't accomplish something because I was a little person. He never wanted that as an excuse. So he didn't let me have that as an excuse. And I think it's a testament to them that I'm doing pretty well now. Dwarfism isn't my entire act, but look out for my Instagram when I post a thimble of whiskey.
That'll be the only time he refers to it. Sorry, go ahead. Gina, did you say you got a text a few minutes back?
Yes, I got a text that I did that I wanted to share with you. It came up during the show. Our sort of studio back here is next to the back door, and I heard somebody knocking, and of course it's not. I'm working, so it's not up to me. And I heard my fiance open it, and I heard a little chit chat, and I didn't think twice about it because we're working. And I got a text from him in the other room saying some hero called the city's Mosquito Control Division about our tiny kiddie pool.
Oh my God!
Andy just had to go deal with the Department of Animal Control. I don't know, because we have a tiny kiddie pool for our little 4-year-old on a hot day, just sitting. And somebody called the mosquito control.
Here.
All right. First of all, the fuck, we have a mosquito department?
Yeah.
This is the first I'm hearing of it. And we have one of those bitches next door that's constantly just ruining everyone's good time. We actually ate outside a couple weeks ago, and the 4-year-old had a blast. It was so much fun, and we're dancing, and we have Moana on, and he has his little, PJ Masks costume. Yeah, that's the tiny kiddie pool.
Right.
And she comes over and she goes, "I'm going to ask you this once, and I'm going to ask you this nicely. You need to shut this down. It's too loud." And I go, "It's Saturday night. It's 9 p.m. No, I'm going to ask you nicely. I'm asking nicely." And she kept saying that. And you know what? God bless this little step boy, because I was like, yeah, whatever. And Andy's yelling at her. I'm like, whatever. We're going inside. Whatever. As she walks away, the 4-year-old at the top of his lungs goes, "I'm sad now because we were enjoying ourselves and she ruined our night."
Good.
Put that on her.
Well,
Lord.
I will say one of the bad residual side effects of this whole lockdown is it's kind of weaponized all the fucking dime droppers out there.
Yes.
Because in the past, we used to kind of look down, the snitches got stitches, but now the snitches became fucking heroes, and these people are so fucking drunk on their own power that it's not going to stop with the COVID. Like, he wasn't wearing a mask. Oh no, we're calling the mosquito patrol. Like, they're just going to keep chugging along.
Yeah, I had no idea. So now we all know there's a mosquito control division of animal control, and kiddie pools are no-fly zone now for the summer.
I love the fact that she kept saying that I'm going to ask this nicely.
That was her thing, like, or
do you a favor.
Yeah, that's the other version of I'm not a racist, but like, oh, you're about to say something racist if you say that, or it's like I'm going to ask you nicely. That means you're about to be a royal bitch. She's
done that a few times. I think she's a lifer over here in one of these. Adam knows the neighborhood. One of these rundown buildings. So I think this is what she's got. I imagine if she works from home, and it's just constant nagging and problems and fetching and threats.
I think you should knock on her door and say, I'm going to ask you this very nicely. I'm going to ask you nicely. I'm going to ask you one time. Die.
Please.
Well, we were so lucky because we found this very cute little house. It's a farmhouse. It's lovely. And it's just, this neighborhood is not working for us.
Well,
I asked you nicely. You can't die. I asked you very nicely.
I wonder if somehow Twitter has gotten people more conditioned to interact with strangers or to comment on a stranger's behavior, because the last thing I would ever want to do is knock on someone's door and tell them to turn their stereo down or call the cops. I've never done it my entire life. It feels so uncomfortable to me. Yet to others, there's something exciting about it. There's almost like a sexual arousal or something. I'm going to call this person. I'm going to get this person. And we've got to figure out a way. We've got to figure out a way to punish these people. We're talking about police reform. How about a little something for Whitey, which is I was
defund the neighbors.
I used to have a party house, as you guys know, and I had like old bitchy neighbor lady, and like we threw a New Year's Eve party. Me and Jimmy threw a New Year's Eve party there back in the day. Cousin Sal's 30th birthday, we threw there. It was called the party house. We'd play basketball there and this, that, and the other. And we had a nice New Year's Eve party, nothing out of hand, nothing anything. Cops all showed up at 9 p.m. And New Year's Eve on that year was on a Saturday night. 9 p.m. they showed up. And I said, what? They like showed up and they saw me and Jimmy and they're like, hey, man show. And I said, you want me to turn the stereo down? And they said, if you want to, but if you don't want to, you don't have to. We just have to come out. And I said, who's the neighbor who called you? It's New Year's Eve. It's 9 o'clock. Who? And he said, I can't tell you who called, but they call all the time. And I thought, shouldn't that person be punished? Yes. And there's another interesting sidebar here, which is we always talk about cops being racist or neighbors being racist or society at large being racist. But I always say there's many more assholes than there are racists. So imagine if you were a black family living how you're living, an old white lady called Mosquito Control to come over to tell you to empty out. You'd go, well, that bitch is a racist, right? And I said, oh, this same group, old white people, when I was working on the party house, one day, it was 2 p.m. I picked up the phone to call Terry Lumber. And when I picked up the phone to call Terry Lumber, I heard this woman on the other end. And I was like, hello, Terry Lumber? And she's like, no, who's this? And I was like, oh, I think we have our lines crossed or something. Maybe it's from the construction. And I said, oh, okay, sorry, I'll hang up. And I hung up. And 20 minutes later, cop car showed up. And I thought, well, if I was a young black man, what other choice would I have to think that I was living next door to an old racist woman?
Right.
But no, I just had an asshole living next door to me.
Karen's got a Karen, man.
Karen's got a Karen. And that was old school Karen. I mean, that's 1999's Karen.
I mean, Adam, you're famous for saying all roads lead to narcissism, whether it's the one person in a room full of people laughing who goes, I'm offended at that joke and everyone has to stop and acknowledge me and acknowledge my presence, or the person who the bitch who's living next to Gina, who's like a 4-year-old is having a good time, and I'm old and I'm lonely, and when I masturbate, my vagina shoots dust out of it.
That's what she told the cops.
Yeah, I need it on me. This is the only way I can get attention, and the only way I can get people listen to me is if I can be a Karen. So they do. It's horrible.
Don't mess with that particular heckler that shoots dust out of her vagina, because if you messed with her, she would fire back, well, at least I can reach my pussy when I'm standing up.
Yeah.
I can also reach pussy when I am standing up, but not my...
Well said. That's why he has dates this weekend.
Yeah, in Houston, Texas. Come on out. I'm going to go the full Carolla route. I'm going to do shows. I'm going to get a haircut. I'm going to have a thimble of a martini. It's going to be amazing.
Sorry, I'm distracted because Jay Leno, hi, Jay, just walked into the studio.
That's what I do.
Because I was going to interview Jay after this program for Wednesday's program. So Jay just buzzed in a couple minutes early. So thanks, Jay. We'll wrap this one up in the next few minutes, and then I'll bring you in for a little one-on-one action. But the great Jay Leno in the building.
Wow.
Yes.
Have them hop on. I'll defer my time. I don't care.
I hope the Chick-fil-A arrived early.
Do you have it there?
No.
Don't remind him.
We got him a
Someone
gift
get a
certificate.
Post-fake run real quick.
All right, what else? Let's do one more, Gina Grad.
All right. Well, if we're going to do one more, let's see. Let's make it a good one. Very, very important breaking news. This should have been above the fold, first thing out of the gate. Very serious Elmer Fudd Yosemite Sam news. This is not a joke. Everybody brace. This is real. Elmer Fudd and Yosemite Sam are losing their signature items for the rebooted Looney Tunes on HBO Max. So going forward, they'll be losing their rifles, their pistols, and their ammunition. They will, however, be able to keep their Dynamite and Acme certified products for the brand new cartoon, but they are no longer going to be able to carry guns and rifles in the reboot.
No. I mean, our
sorry, go ahead.
problem solved.
Yeah, I don't know if it's, how they're going to do duck season and wabbit season, but they're going to have to think out of the side of the box.
He'll get a spinner on his head.
I don't know. Maybe the dynamite. They are allowed to use dynamite. They are not allowed to use handheld weapons.
And then who's going to do the voice of Foghorn Leghorn? Because that's very difficult to thread. Do you know what Foghorn Leghorn sounds like, Max Zapata?
Oh, hell yeah.
I'll say, boy, you don't gotta listen to that man. He don't have a gun. I say, he don't have a gun, boy.
He sounds like he owns two plantations. That's how old and racist a Foghorn Leghorn sounds.
I just did that accent, so in 20 years, when I have a talk show, I'll have to apologize for doing Foghorn Leghorn voice.
Unearthed footage. Yeah, this will be our unearthed footage. Yeah. I don't know who could do. Maybe we'll get Lizzo to do the voice of Foghorn Leghorn.
Oh,
I don't know, but we're in different times. But I heard that Elmer Fudd had a weapon. Didn't he have a scythe or scythe or a? I heard he has a rifle. He got rid of the rifle, but he got like a sickle. Wait, what's the difference between a scythe and a sickle?
Oh, it says scythe. Elmer Fudd's scythe. Let's see.
Right.
What is a scythe?
It's a way to what they used to harvest. Yeah. It's on the. It's
the
on.
Grim Reaper has it.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Right.
It's on the flag. It's on the Russian flag.
Yeah.
So as a great man once said, problem solved.
Yeah.
I'd rather be shot than sickled to death.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would say that's a little more, I don't know, man. Like, it's just this thing where it's like, okay, we took away the guns, but now we have him with a bloody knife chasing after people.
That won't scar the kids.
He's gone from hunter to gatherer.
It's literally gathering wheat. All right.
Reaping.
He's reaping.
It's only a matter of time because they took away Elmer Fudd's gun. Doesn't Elmer also have a stutter? Isn't that going to be offensive to people with speech impediments?
He does have an impediment.
He's bald. That's very offensive to bald people. Bald Brian, that's the worst thing going on in his life right now.
I'm going to take a stand here for this.
Yeah, the worst thing. So, we have to take away all the things that offend people.
So he has a scythe, not a sickle. Okay. I guess.
Do we need both those words? Do we need scythe and sickle?
No, not at all. It's very confusing. And again, I don't know. If it's on your flag, that's a bad sign. That means you haven't joined us in the modern era. You know what I mean? Maybe we should update flags. What do they have? They have a hammer and a sickle, right? The Russians?
I think that was the USSR, though. Is it still
that's a good.
Maybe they did update.
That's a good question.
They did update. Now, we should definitely update some flags. I'm looking at you, Mississippi. Probably one we should update, but yeah. I agree.
It struck me that the don't tread on me kind of thing shouldn't be a snake. It should be a giraffe, because snakes are bound to be tread upon by mistake. You know what I mean? Like, if you're a snake, you're asking to be stepped on. You're in high grass and you're on the ground. The flag of the Soviet Union is still a sickle and a hammer.
Oh, there you go.
Right, time to update.
All right, let's bring it home, Gina Grad.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
That was the news with Gina Grad.